Good morning. So this is the last section of my 2015 article in Topics for Music Education Praxis, the possibility of eco-literate music pedagogy. Starting on page 16, a connecting venture. This paper was guided by the question, what might music education for ecological literacy be like? Music education for ecological literacy should be a connecting venture that has the opportunity to deepen students' understanding of the environment and of music. It requires music teachers and students enacting an eco-literate praxis by 1. Connecting to local places, 2. Experiencing music and nature in connected, meaningful, and ethical ways, 3. Developing ecological consciousness by ritualizing and creating music rooted in soil, and 4. Connecting to the planet more broadly by connecting local understandings to global ecological crises. This is the essence of music education, cultivating ecological literacy. So these 4 points, right? They're meant to be temporal, right? Like roots growing, right? Connecting to local places. That would be like planting the seed. Pedagogies that experience music and nature and connecting meaningful and ethical ways, right? That would include the questioning, right? Questioning that starts to make us think more deeply about us and our local nature. That's 2. And the seed sprouts, right? And it grows, developing ecological consciousness by ritualizing and creating music rooted in soil. So we finally grow into something that is beautiful and visible, right? And then finally connecting to the planet more broadly by connecting local understandings of the global ecological crises. This would be like the fruit of this temporal practice that I created here, and then in my 2017 book, Eco-literate Music Pedagogy, I expand on that a whole lot more, right? But this holds true, right? That we have to start in local places. So often we start students' minds off in distant places. And when we start there, the roots of what is possible always take place somewhere else. So we produce students in rural places who take their great intelligence and their beautiful accomplishments and everything that they can make for the world somewhere else, usually a suburb of New York City or Philly or LA, right? Around the world would be London, right? Away from the places where they grew up, right? Those places, I don't know, he to say like something like a vampire, I guess. You know, not really vampire, but you know what I mean? They take from other places. And that's where they get their glory, right? The fruit of the tree. But they put that fruit in suburbia where there's not even sidewalks and people don't talk to each other and people commute for hours to work and never make their own communities better. And so it's a reverse of what so much educational practice is. Because the land's still being destroyed in every location around the world, and suburbanites may complain about it as much as they want, but they're not near enough to it to stop anything. Whatever universities they're teaching at. Continuing on. At the beginning of the paper, a curiosity arose. Facing global ecological crises, can music education matter? Illich tells us we are torn from the bonds of soil, the economy into which we have been absorbed, transforms people into interchangeable morsels of population, ruled by the laws of scarcity. For music education to matter, that is, for a field to be truly viable and transformative in an age of ecological crises, it needs to reconnect, sonically, textually, and spiritually, people with the soil. The current paper has limitations. Because of the broad approach taken to explicating eco-literate music pedagogy, many of the ideas explored need to be more deeply theorized. A deeper exploration of R. Murray Schafer's soundscape and its implication for eco-literate music pedagogy specifically in relation to the cultivation of ecological consciousness, so we're into that step 3, right, is particularly needed. To accomplish this, the valuing system of the soundscape needs to be understood. Is the soundscape for the benefit of humans only, or does the music of birds, such as expressed in Messiaen's birdsong transcripts, whales, such as Havanes's and God Created Great Whales, and canyons, for instance, Groffet's Grand Canyon Suite, have both human and intrinsic to birds, whales, and canyons value? Do they music for their own purposes? Deep ecologist Arnie Ness asks us to challenge our anthropocentric, human-centered value judgments and to realize the intrinsic values of non-human life. He continues, quote, "Human economic enterprises in the next centuries may significantly reduce the richness and diversity of life on the planet and thereby also reduce evolutionary potential. Social and political activism are necessary." End quote. Through the work of music thinkers such as Morton and Abercois, and my exploration of the theories of ecological literacy, ecomusicology, indigenous knowledge, spirituality, and deep ecology, I believe the answer to whether music education can matter is yes, with a caveat. Our profession as teachers must take the ecological crises seriously, and consequently should further explore ecological literacy as an ends of meaningful and ecologically relevant music education. Ecomusicological literature suggests that musicians are making music for ecological ends, and David Orr suggests that for ecological literacy to become an effective educational movement, it must be integrated throughout all fields in our educational institutions. Future music education scholarship might also further explore what eco-literate music pedagogy would look like through theorists not discussed in this paper, such as Wendell Berry, Gregory Bateson, or through Bates's rural ideals. The ecofeminism of Vandana Shiva has also been influential in educational philosophy, but was not explored here. Wherever music educators are not generally dictated to by the tyranny of standardized tests, music education has a space to be a meaningful place for ecological literacy to take hold in schooling institutions, cultivating in our students ecological consciousness, and enacting change in and for the sake of nature and our future. And that's the end of it. And I got my references, right? Have a beautiful day.